Hi, everyone. So today's live at lunch is focusing on, well, how to be okay if everything just seems to be too much right now. And the purpose of it really was to share some of the feelings that I've been experiencing over the last few days. And I just wanted to share those with you because sometimes it can feel really frustrating if you don't feel really positive, like this is the best opportunity that you've been given, and there's lots of messages like that around at the moment. And I thought that maybe sharing how I've been feeling might be helpful to you. It might also be a little bit surprising, and I hope it will be helpful as well. So for those who don't know me, I'm Andrea Morrison and I'm a transformative coach. I work with entrepreneurs and professionals, and I share a really simple understanding about how we work to enable you to be more successful in what you do, in whatever that looks like for you, and just to enjoy your life more. So if you do enjoy this video, I'd love it if you would share it or like it, and of course, let me know how this is landing for you as well by sharing in the comments box below. So what I'm exploring today is these feelings that we have in unprecedented times at the moment. In terms of a global pandemic, our lives and our businesses aren't looking as they did before. What we thought was going to happen in the future now looks even less likely. And how do we navigate this, and how do we, how can we be with our feelings at the moment, however they are now. I woke up on Friday morning and I felt incredibly flat. Is probably an understatement. Like all this, I had been feeling really joyful. I had been feeling really positive, really hopeful. I'd been smiling a lot, and I didn't feel any of that at all. In fact, I just was like, well, I don't see what the point in all of this is. I don't know where any of this is going. I don't know, who I'm serving. How can I be best placed? And it all just felt too much in so many respects. And usually at this point, and certainly in the past, less so recently, obviously, but certainly in the past, what we would normally do in these circumstances is go into some kind of panic, and try and fix it, and try and fix how we're feeling so that we feel more productive and we can get on with our day. And I've been guilty in the past of really berating myself and saying, hey, you should know better than this. You shouldn't be feeling like this. You should be the one who is helping other people and, has got all the answers, and this shouldn't be happening. I should know better than to feel like this and get sucked in with this. And so I'd be adding a lot more thinking to the incredible amount of thinking I was doing already. And if you're doing that and you're feeling like that, then, that's okay too. It's a really human reaction. And also it's a really human kind of way that we've been conditioned to think that these kind of feelings have to be fixed, that it means that there's something wrong with us, that we should feel differently and that we should be different. And actually, if there's one thing that I would love for you to take away from this live, is that however you're feeling right now, it's absolutely okay, right? You're okay, right? So the thing that makes you you, it's absolutely fine, and the way that we're feeling in any moment is an experience that we're having, and it's okay. It doesn't need fixing, doesn't need changing. We don't need to do anything at all, So I knew when I woke up on Friday morning that the answer wasn't to fix this, right? I knew that. because, you know, I'd seen that before. So I knew I didn't have to do anything or be anything different to how I was in that moment, you know. So what did I do? Well, on Friday, I did kind of just what made sense to me. Yeah. So I had a very strong feeling there were things that I just had to do. I knew that there were a couple of emails that had to be sent on that day. And I knew I had to have a conversation with a particular person, right? And I knew I'd be okay doing that. All right. So that is all I did. I didn't even get dressed, right? Because I didn't need to have the conversation on Zoom. So I even didn't get dressed, right? I just did what I needed to do. And then after that, I just did what was the next thing I felt was a good idea. And I literally just followed, well, this feels like a good idea. So I made some lunch and I had it in the garden because that felt like a nice thing to do. And I got a nice feeling from thinking about doing that. And then in the afternoon, I had a TV show that I really wanted to catch up with that my husband doesn't like particularly. And so I watched that. And that made sense. And I really, you know, if there is a hook that I put myself on, I just let myself off that hook completely. All right. So then over the weekend, I started to feel a little better. And I just felt making sense to me in the moment, you know. So it was, you know, like I got up and I thought, oh, I must go shopping. And I thought, well, I don't want to go shopping right now. So I didn't. I did. I can't remember what the next thing was I did, but I just did something else. And even though my head was saying, you know, oh, but it'll be really busy, or it'll be this, or it'll be that, I was like, well, I don't want to do that. So I literally just did what made sense to me. Now, I'd love to say to you, oh, and on Monday, I felt amazing, but actually I didn't. I felt worse on Monday. Okay, so I had a really bad night's sleep for a couple of reasons that I won't go into, but I had a really bad night's sleep. I was tired and I got really caught up in all the same thinking as I was doing on Friday. And do you know what, right? I went into fix it mode. Okay, so I thought, oh, I got to get a handle on this. So I got some recordings that I had from Sid Banks that I wanted to listen to. And I thought, right, I'm going to go for a walk. And I'm going to listen to these recordings. And I'm going to sort this out, right? And I went for this walk. And and I didn't feel any better at all because I wasn't listening because there was still so much up in my head. And I could feel like the amount of thinking, my head was just so busy. Yeah. And when I was like on social media, I was looking at people, you know, oh my goodness, they've already got their stuff together and da, 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 da. And all of this, right? All of this was going on. And you know what? The one thing that made sense to me to do yesterday was to lay on my bed, right? And that's what I did. Right? And I slept for hours, like I missed a meeting because I slept so long. It's okay. The person has forgiven me. It's okay. But that's what I really needed. Yeah. And I woke up from that sleep. I felt really groggy initially, but then I woke up from that sleep and I actually felt better. Right? I felt calmer. I felt grounded, you know, just a little bit clearer, just a bit more like my normal self, you know? And all of that is okay. Yeah. So one of the purposes of me sharing this with you, and if you're still listening after however many minutes, this is 9 minutes or whatever, is that first of all, right, we are all human. Yeah. And what I share isn't going to turn you into some kind of superhuman being where you don't experience this, right? Because all of this is part of the human experience. And that took me a long time to really accept, okay, that actually when I had these experiences, it wasn't that I wasn't being a good quality human being or that I could do better. Yeah, it was just something that was in the mix. Yeah, it's something that is being part of being human. And and all of that is okay. But what I really noticed from my experience over this weekend, and what I really, really wanted to share with you, very, very, very much so, is that your wisdom, for want of a better word, right, has your back, even at times when it really doesn't feel like it has. But you know, when you get that really kind of strong thought that comes to you, right? That kind of, like I did, like you've got to make this call, you've got to send this email. Like it was compelling, right? Now I could have overridden it. I could have done that. Oh, but I don't feel like it today. I'm not in the right state of mind, and whatever that flavor of thinking that I was doing at that time, and that was equally as compelling. But I knew that if my wisdom was kind of saying, you've got to do this, that actually it was common sense to follow that. It was a good idea to follow that. And so even though my head was going like crazy, and I was having this experience that wasn't great, and I would have preferred not to have had it, my wisdom was still there, and it was still speaking really loudly to me. It was almost like a really, like, I don't know, like a really good friend, like holding my hand saying, you're okay, you've got this, just keep following me, and we'll get through this together. And the only time my experience got kind of, I don't want to use the word unpleasant because that's a bit strong, but like it like came back, and like was really when I'd stopped listening. I'd stopped listening to my wisdom. My wisdom was telling me to go back to get bed and get more sleep yesterday morning, but my intellect was fighting that. This was a new day. I'd already lost one day. I couldn't lose another day, and whatever rubbish was in my head. And when I gave in, because it does feel a bit like you're giving in, but when I gave into that wisdom and I just said, okay, I'll follow you, then, oh my goodness, everything just fell into place again, and it just felt easier. So why I wanted to share this with you is that whatever kind of fix-it thing you've got going on, listen to that wisdom, that gut feeling that you have about what you need to do next. Because that really does have your back in this, and if there is no wisdom, like, then that's okay too, because sometimes actually it's okay just to stop. I remember being really struck a while back when I was listening to Sid Banks, and he referred to wisdom being like a butterfly. You can't go grab it and chase it, and this is what I heard. You can't go and catch it. You have to wait for it to come to you. And the kind of stiller we are, and the more in the moment that we are, and the more we're okay just being in that moment and just knowing that our next step will come when it's ready, and the more we're okay with that, the easier it is, and the more we are able to step away, I suppose, and get some distance from that thinking, and the more we return back to that kind of lovely space, if you like. But what I don't want you to do is feel that there's anything wrong with where you are. That actually where you are right now is okay. And if you're feeling like everything is too much, and it's just, then that's okay. And be okay with that. And whatever you need to do will come to you. Yeah? Like a good friend leading you out of that fog. It will take you by the hand, and it would take you through it. That was my experience this weekend. And then it occurred to me today to share that with you. So So I hope that has really helped some of you. I'd love to know what you hear in that right now. And yeah. And if you would like to learn more, then feel free to join me in my free Facebook group, which is the Business Revolution. And we'll be doing a few more things in there as well about how you can experience some fresh new thinking and maybe experience a bit more enjoyment in your life too. Okay, take care for now. Bye bye.